1993, Walt Disney Pictures released The Three Musketeers, starring the legendary Tim Curry, Kiefer Sutherland, Chris O'Donnell, Oliver Platt, Charlie Sheen, and Rebecca De Mornay. Welcome to Have You Seen That Film, where we'll be discussing this fantastic film released by Disney. If you are familiar with the story of the Three Musketeers, this is a little different from the book. The book, written by Alexandre Dumas, tells the story of a young man named D'Artagnan who wants to join the Musketeers. And once finally getting to France, where the Musketeers are, he eventually befriends the Three Musketeers, Athos, Porthos, and Aramis. And along the way, they have several different adventures within the book, all trying to prevent the Cardinal and his many followers from accomplishing their goals. Now, the film, or this particular film, is very different from the book. They have some of the same elements. The characters are all there. Cardinal Richelieu, Lady de Winter, D'Artagnan, Athos, Porthos, Aramis, Rochefort. They all have the same characters there, but there's a whole lot of differences. First off, D'Artagnan's dad is, the plot of the movie, let me get that out of the way, or say that. D'Artagnan does want to join the Musketeers, but the Musketeers, once he arrives in France, have been disavowed. They no longer exist because the Cardinal has convinced the king that the war is coming, they need to go prepare for that. So the Cardinal's guards will be taking care of the king. And after D'Artagnan befriends the last three Musketeers who haven't given up their tunics, they set out on a quest to save the king because D'Artagnan discovers a plot that the Cardinal has planned to take over have the king assassinated on his birthday. And also D'Artagnan's dad is been killed, or was killed once while he was a musketeer. And so the four of them set out on a quest to stop this and save the day. And so, as I was saying, the differences that lie in here is we have the central characters who are still part of it, but the Musketeers being disavowed. That's not nowhere in the book. D'Artagnan's dad being dead, and there being like this whole revenge plot for his dad doesn't exist. Now, D'Artagnan doesn't like Rochefort, but he doesn't like him because because he's killed his dad. He doesn't like him because he insulted his horse. Despite the differences between the two, this is a fun film. I grew up watching this movie a lot, and it's one that my siblings and I all enjoy and will quote with each other. I think the casting was great. Oliver Platt as Porthos was fantastic. He has some of the best lines in the movie. I think the chemistry between the Musketeers and D'Artagnan is really good. And you just can't go wrong when you have Tim Curry playing the villain, because it's Tim Curry. I mean, the man is fantastic. And I give it props for taking one of the most well-known novels of all time and creating their own take on the story. I mentioned this in my Robin Hood video. I enjoy watching movies or seeing versions of classic tales a twist or with their own take on it. And that's exactly what this movie does. There have been several movies in the past trying to that have stuck with the story and told us. I mean, if you've ever seen, there's a version with Gene Kelly that has no music and no dancing, or no singing and no dancing. That's what Gene Kelly's known for. That's interesting. There was a version in the 70s that was released that it was a two-part, and that was actually very accurate, or more accurate. There were still some differences to the story itself. But this one took its own complete take, which was, again, interesting. It was cool to see somebody's idea of what the Musketeers could be doing, or what we can take with the story. What's so great about the story of the Musketeers? It's a story of friendship and brotherhood, something that resonates with people. So as long as you, as as long as you have those in the film, it's going to be great. But then I was like, no, I have seen a version of the Musketeers that it was just kind of like, it wasn't that great. It's been a long time since I've seen it. It's the one that came out a few years ago. It was just alright. But this version of the Musketeers has those elements, and it works. You stand up and cheer, you laugh. It's one of those movies that there's a little bit of something in there that everyone can enjoy. I will say the romance is very weak in this. D'Artagnan and Constance meet once in the film, never see each other again, and suddenly Constance is in love with this man and talking to the Queen about him. And then, in the end, she saved his life, and they're in love. And that's great and all, but it's like, as I grew up, I was like, wait a second, like, we never even, like, see them interact. Like, we never really see them, besides the one time towards the beginning of the movie, we don't really see that romance. But, I guess you could say this version of the story was focusing on other things, where I've seen other versions focus on that. It is what it is. That's kind of my one, that could have been maybe developed a little bit better. But again, it's the Musketeers, and you got the theme of friendship and brotherhood, which is great. And all for one and one for all. There's something for everyone in this film. Check it out. It's definitely worth the watch, and it's fun to see the characters interact with one another. And again, if you like Tim Curry, then you can't go wrong with this, because you just get a whole movie of Tim Curry being evil, and that's one of the best things he's good at doing, is being evil. So anyways, take care and enjoy the film.